Measles case in Taiwan from Japan, public alert. Taiwan military prepares for Chinese gray zone tactics. Tainan's Xinrong High School to close due to declining enrollment. Tanker and cargo vessel fiery collision off England. U.S. stock market loses $4 trillion in value. North Korea test fires multiple ballistic missiles. Guatemala volcano eruption forces hundreds to evacuate. Miuccia, the Italian Whippet, wins Best in Show at Crufts.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Wednesday, March 12th, Alfred Hitchcock Day, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan's news, a woman in her 20s from Akashi, Japan, was diagnosed with measles and visited Taiwan during her contagious period. She traveled around Taipei and New Taipei, using public transport, and visited popular spots like Jofen and a Stone Hot Pot restaurant. Authorities urged those who are in these locations to monitor for symptoms and contact health authorities if needed. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense announced plans for a 5-day readiness exercise starting March 17th, in response to China's increased gray zone activities, including air and naval incursions. The military will assess and react to escalating threats through graded response levels. Tainan's Xinrong High School, once known for producing basketball stars like Zhang Zongxian and Zhang Rongxuan, will cease operations after failing to meet improvement standards. The school will stop admissions in the 114th academy year and close after that. And in global news, the UK Coast Guard said a fuel tanker and a cargo vessel were involved in a fiery collision off the British coast in the North Sea on Monday. The tanker, MV Stena Immaculate, was struck by the Portugal-registered container ship So Long, operated by Crowley. The Stena Immaculate, a U.S. vessel, was anchored off the North Sea coast near Hull at the time. A statement said, "The tanker sustained a ruptured cargo tank containing Jet A1 fuel due to the collision."
So Long has collided with tanker Stena Immaculate in the outer anchorage. Both vessels are abandoning.
A fire occurred as a result of the collision, and fuel was reported to have been released. The scene was one of chaos in video footage published, with both vessels apparently on fire, sending thick black smoke billowing into the gray North Sea sky. Ernst Russ, the ship's ownership company, said one member of the So Long's 14-person crew was missing. The statement said that an emergency response team was immediately activated and that the company remains in contact with them. Crowley confirmed that all crew members aboard the Stena Immaculate abandoned the vessel following multiple explosions on board. Everyone was safe and fully accounted for.
President Donald Trump's tariffs have spooked investors with fears of an economic downturn driving a stock market sell-off that has wiped out $4 trillion from the S&P 500's peak last month, when Wall Street was cheering much of Trump's agendas. A barrage of new Trump policies have increased uncertainty for businesses, consumers, and investors, notably with back-and-forth tariffs moved against major trading partners like Canada, Mexico, and China. A senior investment strategist at Wealth Enhancement said, "We've seen clearly a big sentiment shift."
The stock market sell-off deepened on Monday. The S&P 500 fell 2.7%, its biggest drop of the year. The Nasdaq Composite slid 4%, its largest one-day decline since September 2022. The S&P 500 closed down 8.6% from its February 19th record high, shedding over $4 trillion in value. The tech-heavy Nasdaq ended Thursday down more than 10% from its December high. The S&P 500 tallied back-to-back gains of over 20% in 2023 and 2024, led by mega-cap tech stocks such as Nvidia and Tesla, which have struggled in 2025, dragging major indexes. On Monday, the S&P 500's tech sector dropped 4.3%, while Apple and Nvidia both fell about 5%. Tesla tumbled 15%, shedding about $125 billion in value.
According to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff, North Korea fired multiple ballistic missiles on Monday as U.S.-South Korea war games began nearby. The South Korean military said the missiles, which were unidentified, were launched from Hwanghae province at about 1:50 p.m. local time, aimed inland towards the West Sea. According to the U.S. Army, the annual U.S.-South Korea joint exercise known as Freedom Shield was scheduled to begin Monday and run through March 21st.
The training alongside South Korean soldiers will include urban combat, field hospital operations, field artillery exercises, air assault training, and air defenses. The U.S. Marine Corps is also expected to take part in a joint assault exercise. North Korea's foreign ministry described the planned exercises as aggressive, with officials telling state media on Sunday that the U.S. random exercise of strength will result in an aggravated security crisis. The ministry said in a statement to KCNA, "This is a dangerous, provocative act of leading the acute situation on the Korean peninsula to the extreme point, which may spark a physical conflict between the two sides by means of an accidental single shot."
Guatemala's volcano fire is erupting, and authorities have evacuated nearly 300 families while warning that another 30,000 people in the area could be at risk. The eruption started overnight, with no immediate report of casualty. The 3,763-meter high volcano is one of the most active in Central America and the last erupted in June 2023. On Monday, the volcano spewed gas and ash far into the sky, prompting authorities to close schools in the vicinity and a key road connecting communities.
The country's secretary of the disaster agency said, "Some 30,000 people, more or less, are at risk in these three jurisdictions, and we are trying to have them evacuate or self-evacuate." The biggest danger from the volcano is lahars, a mixture of ash, rock, mud, and debris that can bury entire towns. A 2018 eruption killed 194 people and left another 234 missing. Isaac Garcia, a resident of El Porvenir on the slopes of the volcano, had that tragedy in mind when he and his family decided to heed authorities' warnings and evacuate early Monday. Guatemala's disaster agency said the flow of volcanic material is weak to moderate but expected to increase.
With her elegant yet brisk stride, Miuccia, an Italian Whippet, beat more than 18,000 dogs to be named best in the show at the Crufts Dog Show on Sunday in the English city of Birmingham. The 4-year-old from Venice became the first Italian canine to win the century-old contest. Unlike her peppier rivals, Miuccia appeared calm as she took the podium and stood next to the prize silver trophy, which was taller than she and her handler, Giovanni Liguori.
It means everything to me. I am a young handler and breeder, so it's truly a dream come true.
He said, "Miuccia performed her best. I felt she was very relaxed on the leash. As Italians, we are super proud, which means we are doing a fantastic job." Established in 1891 as a marketing event for a dog biscuit manufacturer, Crufts has evolved into one of the biggest dog shows in the world and attracts thousands of dogs and their handlers annually. Across 4 days, they are evaluated on how well they conform to their breed's standards in a series of events. The dog deemed the finest of each breed then competes for a best-in-group title, and the 7 winners of each group move forward to battle it out for the top prize.
The answer for yesterday was A, grappling. The company is grappling with financial difficulties. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. U.S. stock market loses $4 trillion in value. Number 1, wipe out something. 消除抹去. The hurricane completely wiped out the coastal town. Number 2, a barrage of. 一连串的. The politician faced a barrage of questions from the reporters. Number 3, sentiment. 情感, 观点. The sentiment of the crowd was overwhelmingly positive. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section, and the correct answer will be announced tomorrow. Alfred Hitchcock Day, celebrated annually, grabs the spotlight as a thrilling tribute to one of cinema's most iconic filmmakers. Hitchcock, often hailed as the master of suspense, his innovative technique and storytelling has left a lasting legacy that continues to captivate audience and inspires new generations of filmmakers. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.